Mary Jane, you are good to proceed.
Okay, thank you. The June 23rd, 2021 meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
Mr. Vieira? I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper and adequate and electronic notice has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and New Jersey Administrative Code, Title V, Chapter 39, Section 1.5, Notice of Remote Public Meetings as required by law.
Thank you very much. We will now recite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of
States
America,
of America and to the republic for which it
and
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reading and approval of previous minutes, I need a motion to approve the minutes of June 9th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
That was a yes.
Oh, okay.
I have him on speakerphone.
Okay. Consideration of ordinances, final public hearing and final consideration. Ordinance 1321, an ordinance amending section 78-1C of the Code of the City of Long Branch concerning the authorized membership of the Police Department of the City of Long Branch. This ordinance was introduced on June 9th, 2021, and changes the authorized membership of the Police Department by reducing the number of captains from 4 to 3 and increasing the number of sergeants from 14 to 15. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make, please dial *9 on your phone and a representative will call on you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When you are called upon, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Caller whose phone number ends in 350. Go ahead.
Is this the public one on an ordinance or the public one on a general comment?
This is on the ordinance regarding the authorized membership of the police department only.
You know what? I was calling to get in the meeting. Your clerk puts on their call 10 minutes in advance to get in. I'm calling 15 minutes in advance. You're locked out and it disconnects you. I called at 10 of, you're locked out, meeting is locked. I called at 5 of, meeting is locked. And now you're going to affect me because I didn't hear the ordinance. It's your fault. You don't know how to run these meetings. You don't know technology.
Mr. McNulty, nobody's stopping you. We're only at the beginning of the meeting. This is the first
I
ordinance.
know. No kidding. Well, how about explaining it to me?
Mr. McNulty, would you please state your name and address, please?
Who's that, Dr. Stelly?
Yes,
Okay. Ernest McNulty, 710 Northeast 7th Street, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33435. Ernest G. McNulty. My confirmation name is Philip.
thank you very much.
You're welcome, Dr. Stelly. So somebody's going to explain to me the...
Supposed to say?
Sure. It
What?
reduces the number of captains from 4 to 3, increases the number of sergeants from 14 to 50, increases the number of patrolmen from 60 to 67.
Okay, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. It decreases the number of captains from 4 to 3.
Correct?
It increases, what does it do to lieutenants?
Doesn't touch the lieutenants. They stay at 7.
Okay, and then sergeants?
Sergeants go from 14 to 15.
Why is there an opening? Did somebody retire?
I don't think it has any, this is just the authorized membership. It has nothing to do with a specific officer.
Okay, so, well, wait. I don't get it.
It doesn't, it increases the number of positions. This has nothing to do with a specific
I know what it
person.
does. Didn't you just promote Wittes to sergeant? So
I'd have
what,
to
doesn't
have
he
the
count?
director answer that question. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
yes.
You made a big
Director.
movie and a video. You know, it was 30 minutes explaining how Mr. Wittes has saved Long Branch since he's born. What Long Branch? What do these people come up with these statements? You know, it's the Twilight Zone. When you portray these officers in these videos, you're making stuff up, man. It's not true. None of it's true. Anyway, so you want to have one more sergeant, and is that it? That's all as far as it goes?
And one more patrolman.
Okay, okay, brings the sergeants from 14 to 15, and it brings the patrolmen from what, 84 to 90 to 90?
No,
66 to 67.
Okay. Okay. So, and I can comment on that now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't think you should do it. And not that I'm want any kind of reduction. I'm not a defund or a reduction, but you got enough. You only have 30,000 people there. And if I'm not mistaken, you have don't you have over 100 officers now? And everybody knows Long Branch is top heavy. You got too many sergeants, too many lieutenants, too many captains, right? And now an expensive public safety director. You know, we're talking $170,000 for a civilian. And where's all this money coming from? You know, it's too much. You need to reconsider and justify why you keep growing the command when in fact maybe it's better no more lieutenant, no more increased sergeant, reduce the captain, and then put 2 or 3 more officers. That makes more sense. Anyway, that's my opinion. I hope that you vote yes for the reduction in captains, vote no for the increase in sergeants, and vote no for the increase in officers until a study is done that you need to keep growing this department based on the lack of efficiency. Okay, am I finished? I'm finished.
thank you.
Caller whose phone number ends in 198. Go ahead.
Mr. IT Man, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. So the ordinance this evening, 1321. I look at the brass captains, lieutenants, and sergeants. 3 captains, 7 lieutenants, 15 sergeants for a total of 25. We're doing patrolmen, 67. For discussion's sake, we're still doing better. Of a 2-to-1 ratio of brass to lieutenant to the line. It's still a 2-to-1 ratio since 2017 of brass to patrol. And yet, on this ordinance, I see item number 5 is missing. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6. Is it because item number 5 was the vacancy of the police chief, which no longer exists?
Yes, that was removed from the ordinance.
All right. The additional sergeant, what is the breakout of the number of sergeants per division as far as investigation, patrol, and support? And the additional sergeant, what division will he go in?
That's for the director, I believe.
That's fine. Mr. Lepore, good evening. The reason that that additional position was created, when I first got here to the city of Long Branch, I felt that there was a missing link up on the ocean front. That sergeant was created so they could go up on the ocean front and take command of all the specials up there and have more responsibility so that we can know what's going on at every given point. My biggest concern in this agency, sir, I'll finish up first. My biggest concern here in this agency was there was no supervision in that area. And when you ask why we are adding on, I'll tell you why, because you can't take
No,
away
that's it.
from
I
me-
just wanted to know the sergeant right now. The 3 divisions, will the captains be respective heads of each of the division? Investigation, patrol, and support?
What's going to happen now, sir, is actually you're off by one. What we have right now, prior to this adoption of this ordinance being passed, is you have internal affairs, you have operations, you have patrol, and you have DB, which is the Detective Bureau. We're going to take the Operations Bureau, which basically has been unmanned, and I recommended that we put that under another patrol division commander to oversee it, because it makes more sense to use your abilities and your resources under patrol with operations.
Did the Government Strategy Group report of May 2020 have any effect on these changes for this
No, sir,
ordinance this evening?
I apologize for interrupting, but no, sir, it did not. That's my overview of what I see here in this agency in the last 7 months.
All right, on May 26, 2021, Council passed Resolution 101. I'm requesting 1-minute notification for the Safe and Secure Communities Grant Program. The wording stated as follows: to qualify, quote, that the municipality have a police department and the number of violent and nonviolent crimes per police officer exceeds 70% of the statewide average, end quote. So we apparently qualify, exceeding 70%. That makes us a dangerous city. At the 6/27/2017 council meeting, Ordinance 1117 was adopted concerning the very portions that are being amended tonight on this particular ordinance. At that time, I opposed that ordinance as a pay-to-play, politically motivated, and a heavily ratio 2-to-1 brass per line. That 2-to-1 brass is still approximate as of tonight. I also emphasized at that time the disarray of the police department in 2017, and that the state police should be brought in and run this police department. I say then what I say now, particularly after the riot this past weekend. Mr. Saldita, you stated you wanted an extra sergeant for the beach. My position right now is that this council should not be voting on this ordinance of any restructuring of this police department until such time there's a full examination of what went wrong this weekend with the Pallone administration and the police department. There is no sane reason to vote on this ordinance. And I'll emphasize tonight, in light of what happened this past weekend, I'll emphasize tonight what I stated back in 2017. Since this past weekend, the riots, the state police had to arrive in Long Branch again. I am requesting that the state police come in and run the city of Long Branch and run this police department until such time as we can avoid this exceeding of the 70% crime rate of the state per patrol officer and avoid the happenings of what occurred with the riot this past weekend. Again, council, it's a no vote on this ordinance, and you shouldn't even be considering this ordinance right now until there's a further investigation of what occurred this past weekend. That's all.
Thank you. Any other callers?
No other hands raised, ma'am.
Thank you. I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is the second reading of ordinance 13-21, titled an ordinance amending section 78-1C of the Code of the City of Long Branch concerning the authorized membership of the Police Department of the City of Long Branch. I need a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Motion,
So moved.
Second.
roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler,
No.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Same.
Dr. Selly,
Yes,
Mr. Viera.
Yes.
this ordinance was introduced. Was that Mr. Vieira on the phone?
Yes.
That gave you a vote?
Ma'am,
That was a yes on me.
All right. Ordinance 14-21. An ordinance establishing fees, rules, and regulations for the operation and use of the City of Long Branch Pleasure Bay Municipal Swim Pool Complex. This ordinance was introduced on June 9th, 2021, and establishes the daily fees for the use of the Pleasure Bay Municipal Pool and regulations for the use of the pool. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 If any member of the public has any comments to make, please dial *9 on your phone and a representative will call on you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When you are called upon, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Caller whose phone number ends in 350. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ernest McNolly, 710 Northeast 7th Street, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33435. I had a question. The last thing you voted on about the restructuring, hiring of the police, etc. Did you just pass that? You voted yes?
yes,
Okay. You need to explain it a little bit more. Like after you vote, isn't who's ever the chair supposed to say, okay, the ordinance is passed now? I mean, because we don't know what you're doing. We can't hear or see. So anyway, that's passed now. You're going to have one more sergeant.
yeah.
One less.
We're not on that ordinance now, Mr. McNolly. We're on the next ordinance.
All I'm asking, did you pass it?
The answer is yes, and we're on the next.
Thank you.
ordinance.
Okay, so now I know what
Speak.
we're
If
on.
not, you can ask questions later.
No, I'm not going to ask questions later. I just wanted to know if you passed it. But you got to make it clear to people what you're doing. And on the pool now. Okay, here we go with the pool now. Okay, this pool, right from the start, right from the planning, the engineers sitting in the meetings, how wrongful this pool was, to deal with the developer, the placement of the pool in a swamp with mosquitoes, and then the comments about why it's placed where it is. What is it, a mile or two from the beach? Who calls that a give back? And then you turn around now and you start to like have these fees and things that people are going to pay. This is so wrongful. It was presented wrongful in a demographic sense. And there's a lot of people like myself who called up and said it's outright discriminatory. It's preventive, right? And it doesn't allow the full spectrum of community to enjoy the beachfront. But no, what do? You build it even though nobody wants it, right? And then you turn around and you wonder why all these things are happening. People are like, wait a minute, how come we can't go near the beach? And you think it's all fine. And then to make matters worse, you have a police force that doesn't look diverse. Maybe I'm wrong, but look at your fire department and police department demographically. What is going on in Long Branch? How are you getting away with this stuff? And letting these developers tell you, oh, look, you let me build all these condos here on the boulevard, and I'll build a pool out in the boondocks for some people that we don't want coming here anyway. And that's what you did. And then you wonder why, like when there's riots or whatever, Look at your police force. It's not demographically reflective of the city at all. What could you do at that pool that's going to not deal with the diversity? And now look, you're trying to get certain demographics at the pool, and then you're going to charge money? What is wrong with this picture? But you know what? You're going to vote yes for everything. That's what you do, no matter what. And the public has had enough, but there's no stopping this, mayor and council. You do what you do, whether it's demographically wrong, racially wrong, economically wrong, public safety wrong, health wrong, whatever is wrong, you do it anyway with the developers, right? Billionaire stealing the city from everybody in Long Branch. Billionaires, excuse me. Thank you. That's my comment. Please vote no, whatever you're voting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manoli.
Caller whose phone number ends in 101. Go ahead. You may have to dial *6. Oh, you got it.
Laurie Dalton, 455 Atlantic Avenue. I would just like to ask Mr. Pallone if he plans on giving up his membership at the Ocean Township Pool Club to join the pool that he built us.
I think I'll be tending both, Ms. Dalton.
Got it. So you won't be giving up Ocean Township for Long Branch.
Probably not. I'll be attending both, just as I said. Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Caller whose phone number ends in 198. Go ahead.
Mr. IT man, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, requesting 1 minute notification. I'd like to direct this question to Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, is the pool separate from the beach as far as funds and divisions?
We will be collecting the revenues separately, and we have allocated expenses separately, yes.
All right, it'll be a validated separate expense from the beach. What is the total full payload of the pool? The estimated payout for wages, salaries of the pool?
I think we have allocated a little more than $100,000 for the operation of the pool this year.
All right. Is the pool going to be under Public Works?
Under
What division of the government will the pool be under?
the beach management.
The pool will be under beach management, but it will not be part of the beach fund. Is that correct?
All the revenues are part of the current fund. We don't actually have a beach utility, so it's not really by fund. It's all part of the current fund.
Can the pool make a profit unlike the beach fund?
It all goes into the same current revenue stream. It's all the same. It's not a individual profit.
So that revenue stream does not justify any profit, correct?
No, it's not a self-liquidating utility, which can only be self-liquidating. So it goes into the general fund.
It goes into the general fund. The
Correct.
money that's received from the pool and the beaches has to be spent in that particular year. Is that correct, Mr. Martin?
No.
No, it's not.
You can carry that money over to the next year?
I don't know what you mean by carry the money. It's considered in with the general revenues of the city.
It's considered in the general revenues of the city now. All right. I've noticed the wages and the security, do they come out of the fees generated by the pool fees for the pool?
You're trying to attach specific revenue to specific appropriations, and that's not how the city budget works. We have general revenues and general appropriations. They're not specific to each other.
So the pool will contribute and the beach will contribute to the same revenue, correct? Is that what you're stating?
I'm stating that it all gets considered into the general revenue for the current fund, yes.
The current security system, Let's Think Wireless, why wasn't the pool security considered into Let's Think Wireless?
Why wasn't, I understand your question.
The city has a single contract with Let's Think Wireless for a security system. Is the pool involved in Let's Think Wireless? Yes or no?
Yes.
It is wired into Let's Think Wireless. Okay. I need an explanation of the following section of this ordinance, 117-5B. Resident non-members may show acceptable identification as indicated on the facility registration form and pay the established daily rates to gain access to the facility. End quote. Could you please explain what that means?
Sure. Well, the first year it'll only be.
1 minute warning.
For the first year, it'll only be Long Branch residents who will be allowed. That's earlier in the ordinance. But this is an ordinance that would allow the pool manager, if they, ultimately, when we get to a point where it'll be resident and non-resident, to establish an identification system. It doesn't require them to do it. It just allows them to do it.
Has a salary been established for the pool manager?
The pool will be managed by the beach manager who's currently in place.
And who is that individual?
Danny.
George.
Danny George, yes, thank you.
Sure.
All right, I'm requesting a no vote on this ordinance. There's still too many questions than answers, particularly on the allocation of the revenue coming in and its association with the beach fund. I'm requesting a no vote. That's it.
Thank you.
Caller whose phone number ends in 439. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. This is David Allen Brown, 449 Long Branch, 449 Norwood Avenue, Long Branch. I just have a couple of questions in reference to the pool. What do senior citizens pay now to go on the beach?
It's free. It's free, Dave.
So my concern is this, that we allow senior citizens to go on the beach for free, but we're not allowing them to go to the pool for free. And then the other thing, I was concerned about the daily fee. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, we already have a model that's been working, set up for the way we use the beach. Why don't we have a mechanism for people to get season passes for the pool? And if you have season passes, people that might use it, and the reason why they do season passes is to get all that income up front. And then then the last concern I have is that why is the Public Works running the pool and not the Department of Recreation?
So let me address those questions, if I may, Dave. First off, we definitely plan on having memberships, but we decided not to have memberships this year because we didn't know what COVID restrictions we would be having, when we were in the planning stages of this. And also we, since it's a brand new pool, we weren't sure of what capacity we have. In other words, would the pool be very crowded? Would it be very crowded on weekends? And we felt that, to have memberships and then seasonal memberships, a lot of people just go to these pools on weekends. We wouldn't want to be in a situation where somebody buys a season membership and then they can't even go on the weekend, which might be the only time that we have. So we decided basically that the safest thing to do and the fairest thing to do at this point is to just do daily. But in moving forward in the future, certainly not even in the future, next year, we do plan on doing the season passes. The other thing in terms of rates, let me just point out that we made an active attempt to search many municipal pools throughout the county and beyond. And these pool rates, as far as we've determined so far, and again, I mean, there may be others out there, we didn't check them all, where we wanted to make sure that, we actually are less expensive than any other community pool that we could find. I don't know if that answers your question.
I mean,
Dave.
I could think some other reasons, but I'll leave that alone. But my other concern is, why does the pool?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry, Dave. Let me answer your other question. You said, beach operation. You'd have to ask Mr. Jackson. But the reality is the logical source for the operation would be the beach operation, because you have the lifeguards, et cetera. You have primarily, I would say, the lifeguard. So it would, it's a natural extension of that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
No other callers, man.
Thank you. I need a motion to close, please.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is the second reading of ordinance 14-21, entitled an ordinance establishing fees, rules, and regulations for the operation and use of the city of Long Branch Pleasure Bay Municipal Swim Pool Complex. I need a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yes?
Mr. Viera.
Yes.
Good. This is ordinance 15-21, an ordinance amending chapter 325, section 5, schedule 7, one-way streets. This ordinance was introduced on June 9th, 2021, and allows two-way traffic on a portion of Melrose Terrace. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make, please dial *9 on your phone and a representative will call on you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When you are called upon, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Oh, we just, okay.
I'm sorry, is this the public portion here?
No,
Yes. We're opening it for public comment, correct?
Okay, I mean, Dr. Selly, we were, Ms. Capone, what was the plan here? You had a letter to read or something?
This is for the ordinance. It's not the public portion where the public speaks. It's still for the ordinance.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Caller whose phone number ends in 350. Go ahead.
Ernest McNally, 710 Northeast 7th Street, Boynton Beach, Florida. So we're back to this Melrose Terrace, correct? Is this the one where there's what you were talking about the parking and you passed something and now you're talking about one way, or is this all the same place?
It's to limit the portion of Melrose Terrace that's one way to create a portion of it to be two-way. I believe that's,
Okay, good.
Jackson, I believe I got that correct?
Not exactly, Mr. Rainoni.
Go ahead, Mr. Jackson, I apologize.
Melrose, between Ocean Avenue and Ocean Boulevard, there's a portion on the easternmost quarter of the roadway that's two-way. And then from the exit and entrance to the Pure Village parking garage, it's one-way westbound to Ocean Boulevard. That's a condition that's been in existence for several years. However, it was not in our code. So we're bringing our code up to speed with the circumstances that have existed.
Am I speaking now?
Yes.
This is your portion, yes.
Oh, okay. So, okay, now I understand what you're talking about. First of all, in the last meeting, when it was mentioned about certain people on certain sides of the streets and basketball courts, you misunderstood. And the mayor was talking about, oh no, they're not going to put the basketball courts out in the street. That's not what the implication was. Certain people who don't live here full time want to come down and put basketball courts on their driveway so that the car that's out in the street, you had it backwards, but they want to put the basketball court in the street. So in other words, you're being very selective, and you could tell by the fact that not all the residents are calling, because people are actually afraid to call in and just say anything, because you just seem to be doing whatever you want, right? It favors certain people. The bottom line is it mostly favors the developers. And then you got a business manager who just tells stories about everything. He's got a reason for everything, whether it's rotten garbage around the way, or he's always got an excuse for everything. I think that's why you hired him. So I think you should vote no for everything until all the people on that terrace get to voice their opinion, because, you know, maybe people on the other side of the street want to park too. And you misunderstood about the courts. It means they want to put basketball in their driveway, and that means they can't put the cars in the driveway. They want to put them in the street. So that's what you're going to get. Basketball games in the driveway and Rolls Royces in the street. I think you should vote no for all of this until everybody on that block and within 200 feet could participate in what you're doing there. Because you're doing it on your own. You're doing it with people that don't even know it. Listen to what the lawyer said, Renan, last week. Oh, no, I never even been on that street. Well, okay, I'm done. Vote no. I can't. Vote no. Thank you.
Caller whose phone number ends in 198. Go ahead.
Mr. IT man, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, 1 minute notification if needed. Ordinance 15. The police traffic were flawed and wrong to suggest that valet would have to exit on Ocean Boulevard to re-enter Pier Village. Factually wrong. Continuing west on Melrose, valet can turn north on Landmark, a street between Ocean Avenue and Ocean Boulevard, if anybody knows that territory, and circle the block coming out of the garage, turning east, puts valet drivers at the single heaviest intersection in Pier Village. They can head west, head north on Landmark, turn east on Chelsea, and then proceed to their destination. What you're doing now is making them come out of the parking garage, turning it two-way from the parking garage east into the most overburdened intersection in Pier Village, compounded by the fact that you've closed Ocean Avenue North, and it was stated by the administrator at a council meeting that when the shops open, Ocean Avenue South will be considered to be closed because of concerns. So now everything gets compounded in that circle of Melrose and Ocean Avenue. This is a no-brainer. No vote on this ordinance. It's as clear as it gets. It can't get any clearer. Vote no. The traffic study was flawed. It didn't encompass Landmark Place as an alternative route. And the council should have examined this and detected this flaw. Therefore, no vote. on ordinance 1521. That's all.
Thank you.
No other hands raised, ma'am.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
There are no other raised hands, Council President.
What was that, Lou?
There are no other raised hands.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Need a motion to close?
So moved.
So moved.
All in
Second.
favor? Second,
second,
all in favor?
Aye.
This is the second reading of ordinance 15-21, titled an ordinance amending chapter 325, section 5, schedule 7, one-way streets. I need a motion to adopt on second and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
yes,
Dr. Selly,
Yes,
Mr. Viera.
Yes.
okay, this is an ordinance for introduction. This is the first reading of ordinance 17-21, titled an ordinance amending chapter 325, zoning by creating new article 13, telecommunications, subsection 345, 132, entitled wireless communications and licensing provisions for telecommunication facilities, and by repealing a portion of chapter 345 zoning section 345-10-1 permitted modifications and exceptions. This ordinance establishes local guidelines, standards, and timeframes for the exercise of local authority with respect to the regulation of telecommunication providers and services to the extent permitted by the Federal Communications Commission as it relates to the approval of small wireless facilities in the public rights of way in certain circumstances. I need a motion to introduce on first reading, advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for July 14th, 2021.
so moved,
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
yes,
Dr. Selly,
Yes,
Mr. Viera.
Yes.
Okay. I have a letter from the watchdogs to read. On June.
Madam Clerk, I think that we first have to go into the public participation, and then you'll read that as part of it. So I think we need a motion to open the meeting for public participation, and then you can read that letter.
okay. Public participation for resolutions and all general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
so moved,
Second.
All in favor?
aye,
Aye.
And Madam Clerk, I apologize for interrupting you, and I just wanted the public to be clear that you were reading a letter that was sent to you as to be part of public participation, as is permitted by the guidelines for the running of the virtual meeting.
Okay, now, and if any, now is the time. when-
I think the clerk is, we're going to begin by reading a communication that she received that was asked to be read during public participation.
Yes, now is the time she can read the letter.
Thank you.
On June 9th, the West End Long Branch, New Jersey Watchdogs saw a social media post inviting people to Long Branch for a beach party at 5 p.m. on June 19th, which we chose not to share on our Watchdog page. We were very concerned as this invitation had already been shared over 500 times, so we passed the information on privately to the Long Branch officials by email. Domingos Saldita's response, received at 8:28 a.m. on June 10th, said we had the same information since yesterday and working on it. Please forward any additional information you may receive in the reference to this post. Thanks. We want our citizens to know that the city was quite aware of the scheduled event at least 10 days in advance. Our question tonight is, what additional preparations did the city undertake in anticipation of the huge crowds expected to converge on the beach on June 19th, whether a beach party, dance party, or a complete mix of Pier Village visitors, employees, and residents? And what is the expense of these preparations, extra shifts, etc.? Also, were these expenses paid at time and a half or double time of the newly declared Juneteenth holiday? And as an additional comment, we would like to put on record, this overwhelming situation is the sort of thing that requires rethinking the design of Pier Village regarding evacuation during emergencies. In this case, citizens were panicking. Many of these youth and innocent bystanders were stampeding randomly running scared. Some people were trapped inside the businesses. We saw several posts asking how to get out of there, being afraid to leave during the pandemonium they were observing on the public streets. Some innocently caught up in the traffic and having no way to get out, nor desiring to have their cars danced on as they attempted exit. Had there been a fire, would fire trucks been able to get to the scene if needed? Word was the firemen couldn't get to a fire. We on the Watchdog group page choose to not post or allow further comments or posts to avoid further panic or pass along untruth, rumors, or hearsay, but chose to let people know to stay away from the whole area until control was gained. We are thankful that many people and businesses did not have worse happen during what was supposed to be a joyous day of celebration, a financially successful day for business, a beautiful beach day for all to enjoy. We are thankful that all of our first responders were prepared and handled the situation as best they could with what appeared at times to be an out of control situation. Do these types of events require permits? What are the plans for the next time? What could have been done differently? The people who live, work, and visit Long Branch want and deserve to know. We would also respectfully request to have our questions answered. Thank you. A compilation of thoughts from West End, Long Branch, New Jersey Watchdogs.
Thank you. Director? Director Salvito? No?
No, he's on there.
I'm here. I was muted. I apologize. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to respond to the letter. First of all, let me thank Patty for sending the letter in, which is very important. Yes, I did receive that information, as she stated, at 8:28 a.m. on June 10th. We had received it early in the day. And basically, that information that was given to us was a post that was put on social media under TikTok that a young generation of individuals were looking to have an event in the city of Long Branch on the beach, which was going to be a beach party. I will start by saying that no one applied under ordinance for any beach party or anything of sort. We never received any information because we vet that information and we make sure that we do the right thing before allowing something like that to happen. So, to be very clear, no one ever applied. It wasn't a planned event. It was an event that was brought up on TikTok. And let me explain TikTok to the viewers and to everyone that is questioning this letter. TikTok is a social media that is generated by a young generation of youth. They broadcast it across the country. Right now, what we see a trend in the state of New Jersey and law enforcement is that they are attempting to start parties on beaches across the ocean front in New Jersey, and we were picked as one of the locations. This has gone back in history. If you look back to Point Pleasant and other areas of the ocean front in past history, COVID stopped it about a year ago. There was nothing going on. It has now come to Long Branch, New Jersey. We received this information. We did all the intel and background possible on it. We did not see it generating more posts than we thought of the numbers that were going to show up in Long Branch. We put extra patrols out there. We posted on the ocean front in Pier Village, and we felt that we had enough people out there at that point in time with the 100 to 200 people that we expected to show up. We believe that social media created an influx of people, and it generated something that went viral, that more people decided to come to the city of Long Branch. We believe, and we identified people coming into the city, into Pier Village, in and around the area of 10:30 in the morning, where they came onto the beaches, and as the posts were saying, they were dancing and enjoying the day on the beach. As the day went on in front of Pier Village, the crowds got larger on the beach and they started to get unruly. There was drinking, which is not allowed on the beach. And I will touch on that also. As far as, needing permits to be on the beach, yes, you do. It's a city ordinance and they were never applied for. I will repeat that. They were never applied for. So as this continued on the beaches, our team that was out there, that was deployed, took a look at what was happening and felt that public safety was an issue and decided to move these people off the beach. Everyone got moved off the beach in that area. It was not a specific identifiable group. It was everyone that was in that area was moved off the beach. During this time, we also had an influx of individuals coming in due to this TikTok pop-up event coming from across the state of New Jersey on public transportation, predominantly New Jersey Transit. At this point, everybody wound up in the area of Pier Village. Officers at this point felt that the situation was getting more intense and decided to call for mutual aid and more people to come in. They controlled the situation. What I can say is, when you ask me about the people that were, as you say in your questions, trapped or held in those facilities, they closed the doors due to the situation that was going on outside, and they felt more secure inside. Can we do better in the future? Absolutely. We're going to do something that we can notify individuals ahead of time when these things happen. We were able, and we were very fortunate with the expertise of the Long Branch Police Department and their training. And when I say that, I mean that because they do large events throughout the years in Long Branch. They have Ocean Fest, they have major marathons, they have a lot of things that happen here. They were prepared for it. They acted professionally and they used great restraint. Can we do better in the future? Absolutely. Let me answer the questions when you asked me about what took place there, and it could have been cleared earlier. We did the best we could with what we had. We were very fortunate. We cleared the town at 10:58 at night, and it was secured. It took 5 hours to do this. We had no major incidents. People asked me about the arrests that were made. The arrests that were made were the arrests that were necessary to prevent any future violence or any future unruliness. I will answer any questions that are necessary, but I believe that our police department, our city, did a great job. They performed effectively. When you ask me about the dollars that were spent, I can't answer that question right now. Those numbers are still being put together, but those weren't the dollars that we decided to plan for. Those dollars were minimal dollars. Where the dollars came in, there were dollars that we had to expend was for the overtime. So there was overtime involved of about 5 to 7 hours. I can't give you that figure right now, but we will figure that out and we'll advise the public on what it was. Is there any other questions? I'm sorry.
Mr. Saldita, Director, did you want to talk about the decision on the fireworks?
Absolutely, Mayor. I carefully looked at the request to have the fireworks display for the 4th of July on July 3rd. After dealing with the pop-up situation and everything that's going on in the city of Long Branch, I felt, and my personnel in the police department felt, that it was a situation that may become very serious to the city of Long Branch. So I felt, talking to the mayor and to city council, my recommendation is to not have the fireworks on that day. We have pop-ups that are coming in post that may come in on the 3rd and the 4th that we're addressing. And I don't want to discuss any further because it's a tactical and operational plan. But I can tell the community right now that you will see a larger police presence this weekend and into those dates coming forward. We are not canceling the fireworks. We are going to move the fireworks to another date. And that statement will be put out by the administration either tonight or tomorrow morning for all the public to know. But I want the public to know that this was a joint decision that was made because of public safety and to make sure that our community is safe at all times.
You have anything else you'd like to say?
No, Council Chair, I will take any questions if they're necessary, but that's what I have to give to the community today and to City Council.
Thank you for that excellent report. I appreciate that, and I think the public does too.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
If any member, we are now in the public portion. If any member of the public has any comments to make, please dial *9 on your phone and a representative will call on you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When you are called upon, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Caller whose phone number ends in 700. Go ahead.
Lynn Stipik, 13 Arthur Avenue, Long Branch. Thank you for letting me speak this evening. Back in April, Councilwoman Wittes introduced the Planet Civic, a project she, the Long Branch Environmental Commission, and the Long Branch Green Team have been working on. I just want to remind everyone to go to planetcivic.com and create an account. The Long Branch team has been very busy creating surveys and asking for the opinions of the Long Branch citizens. So far, they are asking for feedback concerning renewable energy for residents and businesses of Long Branch, potential enhancements to the Long Branch Community Garden, the institution of a complete streets program, the implementation of green infrastructure, development of a bicycle and pedestrian plan, supporting local business, and implementing measures for monitoring the use of energy in municipal buildings. There are also several other initiatives that they are working on. So far, there are a few votes and comments on each question considering the size of Long Branch's population. This survey gives us the chance to let the members of these committees know what residents and businesses are thinking. So please create an account. Maybe it could be sent out in the email blast or put on Facebook about what the link is, planetcivic.com, and answer the survey questions and voice your opinion through the comments. If we use the software to communicate, there will be a better understanding of the direction in which citizens believe the city should take. Thank you, Councilwoman Wittes and the Environmental Commission and Green Team. There's a great deal of work which is going into the surveys, and will go on to implement the initiatives. I also want to thank the whole Long Branch Police Department. Dealing with pop-up gatherings advertised on social media is not easy, no matter what, because you have no idea who is coming and who's not coming. So I think you did a great job, and I'm very happy to see that you'll be expanding your efforts. So thank you and good night.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Caller whose phone number ends in 198. Go ahead.
Vincent Laporte. Can you hear me, Mr. IT man?
Loud and clear, sir.
33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, requesting 1-minute notification. The New Jersey Police Training Commission has a basic course for police officers, an instructional unit on riot and crowd control. Section 10.22.2 states, the trainee will identify the basic tactical principles of riot control. These will include 1, containment of riotous activity. 2, isolation of the riot. 3, dispersal of rioters. My question is, were the specials at Pier Village trained in the riot and control section 2210-22.2? Yes or no?
I'll answer that question, Mr. Lepore. The specials that were there, the class ones were not, but they were not also
That's
put in
all.
that's fine, and I'll continue
That's,
to
that's,
answer.
that's all I need.
Very
All
good.
right. The definition of a riot under the U.S. Federal Code, 18 U.S. Code 2102 section, as used in this chapter, the term riot means a public disturbance involving an act or act of violence by one or more persons, part of an assemblage of three or more persons, which act or acts shall constitute a clear and present danger of or shall result in damage or injury to the property of any other person or to the person of any other individual. Mr. Raynone, was this a riot?
Oh,
This was not a riot, Mr. Raynone?
no, it wasn't, and it wasn't in the judgment of the police officers who were there that night. So, and I would trust their judgment. And of course, the county prosecutor's office and the state police were also involved, and it wasn't in their
All right,
judgment.
forget this. Forget it. It's baloney. An audio was put out by the promoters 2 days ago of this event. The audio showed decadence, endangering the welfare of a minor, vehicle damage, damage on other vehicles, dancing on a police car, dancing on a vehicle, rioters chasing Long Branch police who were fleeing, an arrest where the arrested wished everyone happy Juneteenth. Behavior on the beach that was unbecoming of moral conduct. People barricaded inside their shops in fear. Damage to the Stewarts and the 7-Eleven. And Mr. Raynone, you do not consider that a riot of a crowd estimated to be 500 or larger? Mr. Raynone, was that a riot?
I think I answered your question already.
Mr. Raynone, what is the condition of the woman that was beaten by the crowd, by a cheering crowd to see her beaten? What is the current condition of that woman?
So, I don't know whether or not we can comment on anything specifically. I'm not even sure that woman filed a complaint. So we wouldn't know.
Did we do an investigation?
Well, I'm going to, once again, I'm going to let the director answer some of these questions, and we don't comment specifically on any investigation that's going on, but I do not believe that the woman has filed a complaint.
That can be answered after my 5 minutes.
1 minute warning.
I want to thank the watchdogs for doing what the local, national, and state media failed to do. The watchdogs exposed this riot in Pier Village and the truth behind it with the videos and the photos that speak for themselves. I'd urge all with videos and photos to send them to the state police and to the feds, because you can't trust the locals and you certainly can't trust the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office. And as far as you, John Pallone, and this council, your resignation is expected tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with the entire council for conduct which endangered the health, safety, and welfare of this city. Like it or not, this mayor and council is responsible for this riot. Junk government at its worst.
5 minutes.
Caller whose phone number ends in 350. Go ahead.
Ernest McNolly, 710 Northeast 7th Street, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33435. So Senator Singer and Senator Panacchia, both from Essex, Morris, Monmouth, and Ocean counties, introduced a bill after the riots in Long Branch, S-3992. In other words, to define a riot better and to allow rioters to be better and mandatory prison sentences if convicted. So you set off with all this, and I don't want to use the word lying, but I'm going to use it because every one of you, your public safety director, all your police, the prosecutor, the sheriff, the Asbury Park Press, the Link, everybody's lying about what happened. Lying, big time. You want to talk to the parents with their kids locked in those stores in fear for their lives, reaching out? And where are your people? Nowhere. Public safety director, probably in Tom's River. Where's Pallone? Everybody's right. Where are the Pallones? Of course you're never around. Never around when there's riots, and you started it all. And look at your council, the statements you made the 18th about how it's good against racism to use violence. We're putting it in a curriculum. You know what you set up here? A riot. And you're responsible. And people are injured. Police cars, police hitting the head 3-4 times. This public safety director, your business administrator or former police, you're lying. You're lying about everything. You're lying what you put in the paper. And Mr. Ranone, you're lying about everything. And you all should resign for the people's lives and children. A 7-year-old kid on the beach with adults, they were forcing the kid to hump the female, pulling her bikini aside. And you're going to say nothing went on. You know what, Mayor Pallone? Stay in that Ocean Beach Club. Stay out of Long Branch. You're a troublemaker, and you and your brother are responsible for this riot. You should be held responsible. Big time. All the damages. You're lying about everything. Putting in the paper. No damages. Are you kidding me? I talked to all the owners and everybody. Why do you have to replace all the doors, windows, right? Why were people calling their parents? Help us. We can't get out. Really? Hey, Pallone, you're lying about everything, buddy. You should resign. So should Dangler. And the rest of you, the one that's in a fog. You know, Dr. Selly doesn't even know what's going on. Wittes is like, lost in space. The other college professor doesn't even know what goes on, right? And then Dangler, not Dangler, and Vieira, he was there. Well, why don't you tell him what he was witnessing, right? But usually he's drunk when he's out in public. How you going to get away with this? Let me tell you, I was talking to state police all over the state while this is going on. I'm getting calls from parents asking me 1,200 miles away to come up. They're afraid for their kids in riots. And you think it's funny what you lie in there, Salato, whatever your name is, your public safety director. You lie about everything what went on. You should resign tomorrow morning. How much time do I have left?
Not enough.
You have a
do you
minute
mean?
and 24 seconds.
Thank you. Who said not enough? Is that you, public safety director? You ought to go back to North where you came from. Look at your reputation there and those other places that fired you. You're a liar. You lied about this riot. You probably weren't even there. You probably live in Ocean County. You weren't even there. How do you know what went on? How are you saying the fire department was in a good place? The police, you didn't see anything, did you? What do you call that? You're lying with everybody in your department. Captain, whatever his name is, with the internal affairs. Another liar on the job. Look how you're lying about what Walls did, the cop, with the meth lab. You're covering it. You're lying, and you're using the prosecutor to cover up. You're lying, covering up, lying, endangering people, children, schools. You got pedophiles in the schools, cop, crime through the roof. Police, fire department, crime, grand theft, they're stealing stuff. And what do? You're bringing this guy from North to cover everything up and work with Melanie Falco, the prosecutor, cover everything up. They got Joyce off for trying to hand rape. 1 minute left.
Caller whose phone number ends in 009. Go ahead. We can hear you, caller. Go ahead.
Hear me now?
We can hear you loud and clear. You are unmuted. We should be able to hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Nikki Morris, 27 Woodchuck Court, Neptune, New Jersey. My car was recently hit by one of your officers, and the officer left on June 5th. I have been trying to get my police report, and as of today, it's still not available. That's my first thing that I'm asking about. The second, I want to know what kind of reprimands are going to be done with this officer for hitting my car and leaving. And three, I don't know like where else to go with this.
Oh, ma'am, I'm the public safety director. I'm responsible for the police department. I'm going to give you my number for you to call me first thing in the morning, and we will address your police report, and we will address what's going on with the investigation as far as what's taking place with the accident. So I'm going to give you the information right now. Are you ready to write it down?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. The office number is going to be 732-571-5691. And I will give you another number that if I'm not there, you can call, which will be 732-443-7322. I am usually in the office around 7 a.m. You can feel free to call me anytime thereof, and we will address your issues and get you what you need.
Okay. So you can't answer what kind of discipline this officer is getting for a hit and run?
Ma'am, I can't discuss that on a public session like this. I will discuss it with you in private. And it's an investigation that's going on right now. And once that's determined by internal affairs, you will be the first one to know of what discipline, if any, is given.
Okay. I appreciate it, and thank you for answering my questions.
Please feel free to call me anytime with any other questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Caller whose phone number ends in 439. Go ahead.
This is David Allen Brown, 449 Norwood Avenue. I just have a bunch of questions and comments. First of all, I looked at one of the resolutions, and I don't see a not to exceed amount for the law contract. I see a not to exceed the hourly amount. I don't see a not to exceed amount for their annual bills. The other thing is just to say that the activity that happened on the beach last weekend had nothing to do with Juneteenth. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm concerned whether it's TikTok or anything else, that you got some ignorant folks. It was not a riot. I don't care about the police department, but it was not a riot. And I'm concerned every time black folks get together and do things, it's called a riot. We need to, they're coming back to Long Branch in July. They're coming to Point Pleasant before they come to Long Branch. And I just want to say that I've been working with the Department of Justice for over 30 years on this stuff. I've been in the middle of riots in Belmar, Asbury Park, and in Virginia Beach. I'm talking to the police, the director of the police. You need to reach out to the community and reach out to people who have been involved with these situations to help you deal with some of these things. But I'm concerned, and the council doesn't have to say it. You got a couple of guys who speak on everything. And I'm not calling them ignorant, and I'm not calling them a racist. But it sure says that when you define, they talk about the definitions of everything else, they sound like ignorant people and they sound like racists. And I'm concerned about it. And we need to do something else. And John, I know I canceled the appointment, but we need to talk about police training and some other things that dealing with our community. Because you got people like myself and other people who've been dealing with these kind of things for over 30 years. I've not got one phone call. They're coming back. I've got teenage kids and I've got adult kids. And they've told me the dates that they're coming back. These pop-ups have been happening in California before the pandemic, and they're still going to happen, and they're coming back. And let me just say one last thing, because I've been in Long Branch for over 45 years. The fireworks have nothing to do with the pandemic or the pop-ups. And I think you do an injustice to the people and the citizens and the taxpayers of Long Branch by canceling the fireworks. I might not go, but you do an injustice to them, because the folks that are doing the pop-ups, they're not coming to the fireworks. That's a great day for the citizens of Long Branch. If we need to just prepare for anything, but canceling the fireworks, Mr. Public Safety Director, I apologize if that's your opinion, but you don't know enough to know my people and the people that would do some of the stuff that you think they're going to do. What's going to happen on 4th of July or the 3rd of July has nothing to do with the fireworks or the pop-ups, and we cannot mix apples with oranges. Because like your mother probably told you, one bad apple don't spoil a whole bunch, boy. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Caller whose phone number ends in 422. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening. My name is Fernanda Quincy. I live at 429 Jolene Avenue. And first of all, I just wanted to say that it is my first time participating in this session. But as a Long Branch citizen, I feel it's my duty to do something to contribute to the improvement of this now my town. I have a situation that I have contacted the state pothole repair, because there is a, in quotes, pothole in front of my house. And I guess it's not being seen by the people that service the roads, because technically the road is not torn up, but there is a dentation. There is something that is concave in the road, and it is unavoidable for the cars to go around it. Otherwise, you will hit the cars on the right, or you will go into the incoming traffic. This is in the direction west, going west towards the Parkway. Yes, going west towards the Parkway. And I have contacted the state, and this has been going on for 1.5 years, and it hasn't been resolved. I have gotten phone calls back. Some people are attentive, some others not so much. And I have given them time. I have given them the opportunity to resolve this issue, and it hasn't. When the cars pass by, especially the trucks that are doing all the construction in Ocean Avenue, it shakes not only my house, it shakes my neighbor's house. It is so loud that it wakes up my 1.5-year-old baby. So I'm asking one of you or all of you if you can give me some assistance, if you guys have a pool somewhere that you can get this fixed. I don't know if this is creating problems in my house structurally, but I do know that it shakes my house many, many times during the day and wakes up my baby. That is as of what's personal for me. Secondly, I just wanted to say that I respect all of you, but in the last few years, in the last couple of years, probably year before COVID, I have seen our town go in a little bit of a decline. Pierre Villas is supposed to be a nice area, a clean area. It always was. I've been here for 10 years now. Before having children, I used to walk it, and it was always clean. The type of characters that will be in the area will be decent characters, and I think our police department should be given the authority to question and remove people that are conducting in a manner that is not proper of the town, that it doesn't contribute, that is not morally acceptable. I was so saddened to see how the planters outside of all the restaurants in Pier Village were filled with garbage. Those are for plants, and they had garbage on top of it. The beaches have not been clean like they were under Mr. Snyder's administration. Monday, I was at the beach with my 3-year-old, my husband, and my 1.5-year-old, and I found a piece of broken glass on the beach. This tells me that someone somewhere is not doing the job properly. I'm kindly asking all of you to address these issues. I see homeless people on Pier Village and mentally ill people in Pier Village. I was walking the boardwalk and there was a homeless person and also a mentally ill person that screamed as I was passing by with my daughter and scare all of that. How do I explain that to her? I understand that these people need attention. They need to be somewhere else. They don't need to be in Pier Village. They need to be in an institution. And the homeless also should be removed from Broadway, from the annex of Brookdale Community College. I don't even want to drive that street. And I am aware of what could happen. Many years ago, there was an incident where a homeless person stabbed a young man and killed him. And he's in a mental institution still waiting trial. And this happened way before I was a citizen at Long Branch, but I know of it. And we don't know. A homeless person could be mentally sick.
So can I just add, if you're still on, with regards to the issue with Jeline Avenue, that you haven't been able to get any response from the state, can you call my office in the morning? I hope you're hearing, but just call my office, 732-571-5640, 732-571-5640, or 222-7000, and just ask for the mayor's office. We'll see what kind of assistance, or at least we could contact the state on your behalf. Just ask for Susan or Lindsay tomorrow, and we'll see if we could be of some assistance. Again, I'm not sure of the specifics of what you're describing, but we'll certainly look into it.
Caller whose phone number ends in 834.
Good evening. Brian Asarno, 55 Community Place, famous property. I'm going to be a breath of fresh air compared to some of the earlier callers. Mine is simply about some good old-fashioned corruption, it seems. At some point, the public has to make a conclusion as to whether people are acting in good faith or are going to enforce the laws. Okay, I see the city attorney is still there, even though I pointed out he lied to your council and he mischaracterized my complaint to you. You're paying him to continue to do that. I'm not surprised, but that's one of my comments. I see you want to be enforcing the laws when it comes to other people. You seem to be bending over backwards, fix potholes or whatever. I pointed out to the council and the mayor, we got some neighbors operating without zoning permits. They were rejected by a zoning board on your watch. They were rejected, in 2017, and then they did an appeal in 2018. They were denied. The use is not permitted, and they're operating to this day across the street from Councilwoman Sully. The landowner happens to be a good friend of hers and the mayor. That's why it's been going on for this amount of time.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what it looks like. Okay. Okay. Now, at the May 26th meeting, I also pointed out some simple code enforcement issues regarding these neighbors that don't have a right to be there in the first place. They have their trash in their containers 24/7 in front of my property and on a right-of-way, putting their crap on my right-of-way. I can't cut the grass now. I'm letting it grow 10 feet high. I don't care. See rats going in there? That's your problem. I'm not going to cut it. Get them to get their crap away from my property. It's against the city ordinances. It's been pointed out to the code officer what the city ordinances are. You're not allowed to leave your garbage out or your containers out. You're supposed to put them out the night before only. They're not supposed to be out there 24/7 and then getting on other people's property. They're also parking illegally across the street from me. There's no curbs there. They created their own parking zone. There's no ordinance allowing parking over there, and it's blocking access to my property. I've sent pictures there in the past. I see you want to enforce the laws. Let's see you enforce the laws. I mean, we have to make some conclusions at some point as to why they're not getting enforced. So on May 26th, the city attorney, I believe he said he's not going to do anything about it. Nothing about the zoning violations that are ongoing. And he also said he's not doing anything about the code issues. I'm going to confirm all that. And I also want to know why. That is the key question. Why are you not doing about it? Is there a limitation of resources, Mr. City Attorney? You know, corruption doesn't count. Corruption doesn't give you immunity. It's not a limitation of resource. Also violating my right to have, my equal protection rights. My garbage, you say it's going to be beautiful. You want to keep the city beautiful. You have the code officer, one of his violations to the neighbors happened to make some kind of violation notice, which I saw nothing to do with any of this. It was just another being very gentle with the neighbors, but I did notice he mentioned it was a beautification effort citywide. Well, why does Community Place look like a shithole? Have you seen the pictures? Have you been over there? It's a dump. It's a demolition company that has no zoning permits. He's bringing his crap over there, sorting it out, and it's along the brook in a DEP flood zone. This has been pointed out to you. You have 30 days to abate a zoning violation. This was brought to your attention over 6 weeks ago. This is all on your watch, Mr. Mayor. This is nothing from before. This is all on the watch of this administration. So please give me an answer tonight, because I'm going to be drawing my conclusions. And it's not going to be pleasant. There's elections coming up. And I will do everything I can, if you're not acting in good faith, to do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Caller whose phone number ends in 262. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Clear.
Hi, Lillian Grauman, 396 Second Avenue in Long Branch. I just wanted to make a couple comments about what happened this past Friday, and I'd like to echo Mr. Brown's sentiments. He was right in a lot of things that he said. I'd like to commend Director Salita, the way that the Long Branch Police Department handled the situation. I have over 30 years in crowd management experience, and we like to say that we hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst. I want to thank him for admitting that the city fell short in this area, and that the city can do better, and hopefully with input from not just the community but other resources, that the next time this happens, we'll be prepared. I've been in town for over 60 years and can't ever remember this type of event ever happening in Long Branch. This is something that's new, something that again, we have to prepare for. And with the right resources and New Jersey Transit, whether there be signage, whether there be, communication with them on the day of, also with social media, word can get out. We recognize that there was information out there about this party happening. Well, the city can also put information out there in the same respect, trying to diffuse the problem. We can try and do everything we can to contain this incident. And that would include, I have so many different ideas and suggestions if, I would like to be involved. But, again, Long Branch did a great job with the resources they have. And I just want to again say thank you. This could have been worse. And hopefully July 9th, which is the only thing that I've seen, we could really try to control the situation. I know there's a lot of people have reached out to me because of my experience and asked me what I thought. And there are a lot of parents out there that are concerned that with the enforcement or whatever you decide that, they don't want their children brought into it. They don't want them to become part of whatever happens or, and the majority of these attendees were not from Long Branch. They were not from neighboring towns. They were, from what I understand, North Jersey. With that, I'll finish. Again, I want to thank the Public Safety Director and the Long Branch Police Department for handling the situation the way they did. That's all.
Before you hang up, ma'am, I just want to say thank you. Number one, for the best words I've heard all night as far as public safety is concerned. Number two, I would like to give you the same numbers I gave the young lady with the accident problem so that you can call me up and sit with me and partner with me to bring better results to the community, because it seems like you had those opportunities out there with the community and the young generation. So I am willing to sit at the table with you and partner with you to do the best thing for the city of Long Branch. So once again, those numbers are going to be 732-571-5691. That is my office. And then you can call me at 732-443-7322. And I applaud you for being courageous enough to make and take the opportunity to speak openly about doing what's better instead of talking about what's negative and not good for this community. So I applaud you and have a great night.
And
Lillian, thank you.
Lillian, if you could stay on as well, I just wanted to let you know that I read your letter. I got it after 4:30 and I don't have your number in my phone, or obviously I would have called you and it wasn't in the letter, but I just want to say you made a lot of, good points, and, I always call you back quickly, but in this case, I have to get your number from the office. I didn't have it on my phone.
Great. I appreciate that. And I know there are a couple others in the community that would like to be involved. And the more people, it takes a village. And really, the more people that get involved and understand what it takes to work on trying to prevent these types of events from happening, then they'll get a better understanding. And again, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you. And I look forward to talking with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lillian.
Thank you for comments.
No other hands raised.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, have you received any public comment by electronic mail or written letters?
No.
Okay, with that, I need a motion to close the public portion of this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We can take the listed resolutions as a consent agenda. No, motion, please.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Dangler,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yes.
Mr. Viera.
The answer, I didn't hear him. We have two applications. I need a motion to approve the listed applications. The first one is the approval of the transfer of medallion number 31 from Mustava Yeoman to Jawad Awad. And number two, approval of the transfers of medallion number 33 from Mustava Yeoman to Mahabad Nabi.
Moved.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler,
Yes.
Dr. Vogt,
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes,
Yes.
Dr. Selly,
Yes.
Mr. Viera.
Miscellaneous business for the good of the order. Councilman Dangler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This evening, I wanted to say, as most people know, and for clarity for those who don't, the Juneteenth program and or event that we had here in Long Branch earlier in the morning was well attended, and I thought it was a good program, and hopefully it will grow and certainly in a positive way as it's meant to, and just to celebrate the fact of slavery being ended. In regards to the program, or not program, but the beach party, I want to thank the police department for what I think, and I'm not an expert on police matters, but certainly the restraint that they did help. It could have been a much worse situation. And I think that they did a pretty good job keeping their head, because we want them to be safe just as we want the residents to be safe, and the guests who come into Long Branch. I do believe that everyone has a right to assemble, but you have to do it peacefully and in a manner that is set for everyone, not just young people, not millennials, not Black, not white, Hispanic, whatever, but for everyone across the board. And I do believe, certainly me personally, that the city, the police department and administration will reach out at some point to get more input on how to, for lack of a better word, have a little more control, or certainly be prepared, not just police-wise and safety-wise, but just to be prepared in general for the crowd that's coming into town, to have a good time in Long Branch, but in an orderly fashion. And so that's really all I have to say. And certainly just be safe, and hopefully your 4th of July will be a blessed and safe one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dangler. Councilwoman Vogt.
Thank you, Vice President. But Sally, two things. First of all, I want to congratulate Councilman Dangler and all of the people who contributed to make our first Juneteenth celebration really a beautiful event. It was very authentic, very sincere, very heartwarming, very important, and very well done. So my congratulations to you and the whole team of people who pulled that together. Secondly, comment certainly about the events that happened. My thanks to our police department and to our director. You are at risk. The work that you do is tough work. It's important. We so appreciate all that you do to keep us safe and all that you did during this event. As you look back on this meeting, it's an interesting picture for all of us. Long Branch obviously is going through some challenges now as a community. How are we going to come together to deal with this? And how do we respectfully help each other in dealing with a situation that we're all concerned about in terms of the safety of our residents and the safety of our city? My appreciation to those who said, let me help, and let's all of us try to respectfully come together rather than tear each other apart. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Vogt. Councilwoman Wittes.
Hi, good evening. I too would like to echo what my fellow council members have talked about, and we'd like to thank you, Director, and the police department for all that you did to keep us safe and to keep everything calm as calm could be. I'd like to thank Ms. Grauman and Mr. Brown for offering their services. It's very important that we reach out to members of the community to help us in all situations. And we appreciate them offering their expertise. I also want to thank again President Vieira for all he did this year. And I would like to congratulate Dr. Vogt on your upcoming presidency. And I wish you all the best of luck. And with that, I'd like to say thank you to everyone for participating tonight, and have a good evening, and please be safe.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Wittes. Mr. Councilwoman Mario Vieira, can you hear me? Is he still on?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pallone?
Thank you, Council Vice President. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for their comments tonight. They were really appreciated and very helpful. I also want to thank our Public Safety Director, Director Saldita, for answering all the questions tonight that the residents have had. I think it's been very helpful, and thank you. I also want to thank our police department for their professionalism during this event. And I want to assure our residents, all our residents and our visitors, that your safety is our #1 priority. As the director said, we can always do better, but again, Director Saldita, Mr. Jackson, City Council, and everyone, we're going to be prepared. We can possibly be moving forward in the future. Just as a few events that are taking place, I'd like to say that the pool ribbon cutting is next Wednesday on June 30th. Please join us at 5 p.m. The ribbon cutting will actually be at 6 p.m. and we'll be having some summer refreshments, and it'll be a good time. I'd like to mention, I know that Ms. Dalton had a comment earlier. I'm not quite sure what her point was in terms of my attending Ocean Township for Long Branch Pool. Let me just say that I've always been an avid swimmer. Ocean Township does have quite a nice lap pool. And so I will continue to swim there, but let me speak about our pool for a moment. On July 1st, the pool will be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I've been involved with the pool since day one, and it's an absolutely, well, maybe I'm prejudiced. I think it's a really beautiful facility. And I'd like to, Ms. Dalton specifically, I don't know if you're on the line, I'd like to ask you, because I know you had some concerns about the pool. And there are a few others, not many, but there are a few others who have concern. And some of those have been to the pool and, they're looking forward to be a part of it. So if you can make it on the 30th, it'd be great for you to take a look, as well as anybody, we welcome all our residents in the city to stop by. And again, on July 1st from 10 to 7 p.m. will be open daily through Labor Day. Reminder that our summer concerts have started. The schedule is on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday night concerts. All the information's on our website, social media. We have pickleball, dance classes, tennis, yoga, and more planned for the summer of 21 this summer through our recreation department. Please call 732-571-6545 to sign up. I mentioned the fun days are back, so join us for free food and some fun activities. We have 3 scheduled: Wednesday, July 21st from 5:30 to 8 o'clock at the Gregory School. Wednesday, August 11th, 5:30 to 8 o'clock at the old Long Branch High School lawn. Sunday, August 22nd, 1 to 4 at Vancourt Park. And we're going to schedule one more, hopefully, at the community pool before the end of the season, which should be a lot of fun. The Arts Center ribbon cutting is this coming Tuesday. That's June 29th. So it's this coming Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Please join us as we celebrate our new Arts and Cultural Center. We're going to have poetry, music, video, dessert and coffee, and an art exhibit by Will Bahamonde, who's actually our city photographer and our IT specialist. And he is showing many of the photographs that he's taken over the years in the city and that have been in the calendar for the last 2 years. And finally, this is pretty exciting. On July 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Branchport Park, we've kind of renovated the park. There's a new boat launch there. We redid the parking lot and the whole area there. So we're going to celebrate that. So join us for a fun night that's free for the whole family. We're going to have food, free boat rides, paddle boating, and that should be a lot of fun. So that again is on July 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. I want to also give my congratulations to Council President Mario Vieira. You did a great job. Thank you for all that you do. And then Dr. Vogt, congratulations. I'm sure you're going to be a great council president as well. So with that, good night and thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of comments. You alluded to Mr. Vieira. We had one heck of a year, and let me tell you, he carried us through all of the whole year without any problems. There were some bumps, but he did a super job. And Mario, I'd like to say thank you very much. And my congratulations to Anita. I'm sure you'll do an excellent job. Then we have a birthday boy this month. Billy, happy birthday at the end of the month.
Thank you.
And I would personally like to thank the Long Branch Police for the excellent job they did, and to the director who picked up on it and did an excellent job. We have a great force. Some people don't realize it, but we have a great Long Branch Police force. And with that, I would like to thank the public and anyone who came forward and spoke about the comments. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. And if you don't tell us how you feel, how are we going to correct the situation? So with that, I'd like to thank you for stepping up and saying what you felt. And with that, I'd like to say good night. But before I do, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you and good evening, Long Branch.
Good night.
Thank you.